What's up, all you beautiful people? Today I am going to be doing a review of the original James Cameron Avatar. So I know I only have the one review on my channel as of right now, and that was the Avatar: The Way of Water. I got kind of inspired. I had a couple people ask me to do the review of the original movie now. Kind of want to do a little review and compare the two and see which one I liked better. So I just recently watched the original Avatar last night. Also didn't realize that that movie was long as hell too. Not nearly as long as The Way of Water, but I think it's still like a 2 hour and 45-minute run, which is just like, God, but it still flies by. Still pretty good. Just for kind of a recap for people that maybe haven't watched the original Avatar in a little while, I'm gonna do a just kind of general synopsis of the plot, just in case, because it's 2023 now, so it's been 14 years since the original Avatar came out in 2009, which is insane. It's a year after Iron Man came out, year after the MCU started. So yeah, I'm gonna start with just a little synopsis of the plot. Basically, there is this moon of a planet, some other place in the distant future. I think it's like 150 years in the future, something like that. People are flying to this planet to harvest this resource that is called unobtainium, which is just the most ridiculous name for a resource that I've ever heard of, but you know, it is what it is. They have created these things called avatars. Avatars are recreations, like lab-grown bodies of the aliens on this planet called the Na'vi, and they have some sort of neural connection thing where they can like transfer their consciousness into the body. I don't know, super crazy, weird. So that's kind of like where the whole Avatar thing comes from. Transfer into these bodies, and the whole point of this movie is that there is Sam Worthington's character, who's Jake Sully, who has to replace his twin brother. He comes there, he has no experience, he has no nothing. He's a Marine, he's not a scientist like his brother was, and he has to like kind of go in there and make friends with the Na'vi. So anyways, long story short, he goes in there, he has kind of this love story with Neytiri, which is Zoe Saldana's character, and they kind of fall in love. He makes a connection, but he's in there supposed to be a Marine spy for humans. So then shit goes sideways, and they all figure out that he's part of the humans, that he's been trying to spy on them and all that, so they turn against him, and then he kind of like redeems himself by taking over this big giant dragon. He takes those over, helps them rebel back and fight off the humans, and send them back to Earth. That's the kind of quick synopsis of the original movie. And so I kind of want to just compare what I think about this movie compared to Avatar 2: The Way of Water. And as you all know, if you have watched my Avatar 2: The Way of Water review, which I will link, I still can't figure this shit out, I will link right here, so you can go watch that. Is that I really love that movie. I thought it was so damn impressive. I thought it was so good. I was watching the original Avatar, and it's still so impressive how well that movie holds up for being a basically complete CGI movie from 2009. You have other things to compare it to. The only other thing that I could think of was like Iron Man might be the most CG heavy movie. I don't know. I'd have to look up a whole list of whatever came out that year. It still looks so amazing and so beautiful. People like to compare the story of this movie and just say, oh yeah, it's just Pocahontas. You know, there's nothing too original, too crazy about it. And I disagree. Watching it again, the story is actually pretty fucking good. Honestly, I buy everything that's happening. You have the Pocahontas thing because you have a group of people that are coming to take over like a native tribe. Two people fall in love, they fight back, you know. Everything else that James Cameron does in this movie to make it original and create a language for the Na'vi and create an environment for the Na'vi and create a culture for the Na'vi and like how and all of the technology of the humans, everything he does to make the world original and feel like alive is enough to kind of separate it from the whole Pocahontas trope. So I think it all works. You really buy all the relationships in the movie. Like you buy that Jake Sully and Neytiri who fall in love. He really knows what he's doing when it comes to this stuff. You know, there's a reason that James Cameron has, I mean, if you count Avatar 2: The Way of Water, it's got to be at least like 3 or 4 $1 billion+ movies. Avatar, the original Avatar alone, is over $3 billion in total gross revenue, which is just insane. He really knows how to make a world and make something that you're really interested and invested in. Something that a lot of people brought up in Avatar 2: The Way of Water is how, including myself, is how amazing the last like 45-minute action sequences and how it's just super intense, and you have all these different planes of existence, all these different things happening at the same time, and how it builds up and then crescendos and comes down, and people that die and everything that happens. And I thought it was really, really amazing. I don't think it holds a candle to the final action sequence in the original Avatar. I might be kind of biased because I really just kind of like airborne stuff more, like the underwater stuff. It's cool, it's pretty. Airborne stuff, I'm just a sucker for that, you know? And you have dragons versus like flying drones. Like it's hard for me to separate those and not favor the dragons versus the flying helicopters and giant space machines with giant bombs and everything. It's just so good. The action is so amazing. It's so awesome how it builds up and crescendos in the original Avatar to everybody's dying, you know, you kill off a couple of main characters, and then you have the whole Eywa thing where she kind of they kind of discover that Eywa is actually kind of listening and helps and sends in all the animals to start fucking up all the people. The final battle, a really cool concept when you have the bad guys, the Colonel Miles Quaritch, played by Stephen Lang, versus Jake Sully and Neytiri. It's cool. I mean, it is kind of just a CG big baddie fight, but what is cool is that Jake Sully has his body, you know, right there in a tank that he's going to attack. And like Stephen Lang's character says in there, he's like, we'll show you who you really are and you're not one of them or whatever. And you guys, all he has to do is go over and smash a window open and break open the container. And then all of a sudden Jake Sully starts choking to death and dying because he's obviously not a Na'vi. I don't know, it's like a basic kind of CG fight and stuff, but there's a different layer to it that makes you feel and kind of like are a bit more invested into what's happening. I don't know, Giovanni Ribisi? I don't know how to pronounce his name. But the dude who plays like the bad guy, that's like above Stephen Lang's character, who like runs everything and like is just the dude who sits in the office the whole time and is using his putter in the office. He plays such a convincing, trolly, stupid little bad guy corpo dude, and it's just hilarious. Like, I don't know, I like this movie so much, and every time I watch it, I always want to watch the whole thing, even though it's long. Like I said in my The Way of Water review, it's 3 hours and 13 minutes or whatever. I've only watched it twice now. I don't know how rewatchable it's going to be because it's so damn long, and we'll see as time goes on. But I know for sure that watching the first Avatar, almost every time that it's on, like I want to sit down and watch the whole damn movie. It keeps me in, it keeps me captivated for that long. And it doesn't even need to be the crazy spectacle and visuals and revolutionary technology that it was when the movie came out. It's just a good movie, and it's just fun to watch. We'll see if The Way of Water holds up to that and kind of makes it to the level that the original Avatar did. I don't know. I can't say too much about it because I don't know. I don't have the context for it yet. But we'll see as time goes on, see how it looks. If we really come down to it, I think I want to give Avatar a 9 out of 10, which is surprising because I don't ever remember myself being this big of a fan of the original Avatar movie. I always liked it. I always liked it a lot. I always enjoyed it every time I watched it. I didn't realize how much I really liked it until watching The Way of Water recently in these last few weeks. It's just such a damn good time. It's so awesome being introduced to the world, and all the music in it is so great. You have all the Curiosity music that's playing when Jake's first running around in his avatar body, and then he gets lost in the woods or whatever, and he meets Neytiri. But then you have the really dramatic music playing when you destroy their home tree or whatever, and he collapses down and kills a whole bunch of the Na'vi. Almost everything about it is just really damn good. And I really enjoyed watching this movie. That's something I'm really excited about with this YouTube channel that I'm starting, because I want to get more into movies because I've always loved movies and I really enjoy watching them. I never really get people that I can talk to about them. So that's kind of what this YouTube channel is going to be. It's kind of my outlet to just kind of talk about them and bullshit and say what I think about them. And so I got to like sit down and really focus and think about what I think about this movie, which is kind of what I'm trying to get out of the YouTube channel. Like usually I just kind of sit down and it's like, oh, this is on, okay, I'm just gonna kind of blindly watch this and sit at my phone. But no, I watched this movie straight through and I had an amazing time. It's gonna be kind of hard when I see some shitty movies. That's just gonna be the way it is. You know, it's gonna be ups and downs. All in all, I think that I enjoy the first Avatar quite a bit more than the second Avatar, which again, if you watch my Way of Water review, I was pretty torn. I wasn't sure which movie I liked more. And looking back on it now and having seen both of them within like 10 days of each other, I think the first Avatar it's really something special. There's something really good about it. With that being said, I'm going to close out this video. So if you can give me a like, subscribe, and also let me know what you think. If you've seen both Avatar 2, The Way of Water, and you've seen the original Avatar, hopefully you have if you're going to see the second Avatar, let me know what you think down below in the comments, which movie you think is better and why. Make sure to give me any suggestions on some other movies or TV shows that you might want me to review. And thanks for watching.